Hey everybody, what's up? Today is January 10th, and we're going to go over some Batman 60s TV show, the two episodes, the Purr-fect crime, because it's a Catwoman thing, and Better Luck Next Time. So this episode doesn't really have many set pieces because they do something pretty neat, I will say. So it's kind of a simpler episode, but there is one thing that they use that I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense why it had to be like that, but that's fine. Sometimes simplicity works, and sometimes in this show, if it gets like too overly convoluted, it gets kind of annoying. Sometimes like the overly convoluted stuff, it's like charming because it's so much so, but then other time, like there's this kind of balance. It's like too much and then too much, but it's ridiculous, and I love it. If that makes any sense. Um, so it starts out Catwoman. She's stealing this cat artifact, of course, and goes to the chief and commissioner, and they're like, "Oh, hey, because they Catwoman left yeah, left them a note, and it was a picture of a newspaper with the cat and another cat, and one was scratched out because it was a set. So the clue is like she's going after the other one, which I mean, I don't even think she needed to like troll them for that. I mean, it just seemed kind of obvious that it was going to be your next goal. But anyway, Batman and Robin, they're on the case. They go to the museum. Um, Beforehand, though, this is actually pretty smart on their part. They douse it in this like kind of like super unique radiation, so where only they can track said radiation on their back computer. It's kind of neat. I got to applaud them for that. Like their goal was to trap Catwoman, but they're like, in the event of her escaping and taking the cat, we have a way to find her. So kudos to the Caped Crusader there. So it ensues. They get to the museum. Catwoman shows up. Batman and Robin are split up at one point. Batman's to like go on patrol, and Robin's to like guard the cat. And it is kind of funny where they're so limited in the '60s. You a cat is like it leaps at Robin, but obviously you're not gonna really train like a little house cat to do that. So like it's thrown at Robin, and it's happened twice, and it's like latches onto their shoulder. And you can see him like Burt Ward in pain. I'm like that cat can't be having a good time, and that knocks Robin out because it's like I think there was some kind of drug in his claws or something. And Batman shows up. The thugs escape. Catwoman escapes with the artifact, and they go to the lair. And I swear, every villain thinks they're the Joker in this show because Catwoman, she does this trolley thing where they fall through the trap door, and they're about to be crushed by the pit. There's like spikes on both sides, and it's coming in. And then Batman, he's like pushing it back and trying to hold it. And he told Robin to get down to try and save him. And then he's like, "What the hell?" And the spikes were made of rubber, and everyone's like, "Ha ha ha! Ha, you fell for it, you little idiot!" And then, okay, it's not funny, but whatever. So then she's like, "All right, go take care of him." So a henchman opens like a little tiny latch and puts a bomb in, and you're like, "Okay, here it is," and it like explodes like a little bit of smoke, and at first you're like, "Oh, is that it?" But then a little boom sound, or no, a little like sign that says meow pops out, and she's like, "Ah!" And I'm just like, "All right, funny the first time, even though it wasn't," and then the second time it's kind of annoying. So him and or Batman and Robin and myself are kind of annoyed at this point. Um, so then a pipe comes down on Robin and then sucks him away, and the walls are removed, and you see two doors. And Catwoman's like, "Hey, Batman, it's time to play some gambling. On one door, it's me, and another door, it's a ferocious tiger." And if I was a betting man, I think she's just trolling him again. I think both doors led to tigers. So he opened the door, and it was a tiger, and that's the end of the episode. And this is the part where I was talking about. Like, it was an actual live tiger. Every time that like you see the tiger fighting Batman, that was like his handler. But it is kind of crazy. They had tigers in on the set, so I think that was why like the rest of the like this episode and then the next episode are kind of like I won't say they weren't exciting or boring. It was just kind of more simple, just because I guess the Tigers were like the big headline thing, like the big set piece. So I wasn't mad at that. I was just like, I'll take it. It's fun. So the next episode comes, and Catwoman's watching on the camera, and she's like, "Well, Batman, I'll leave it to you. I'm kind of grossed out by blood." And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Most villains, very annoyingly enough, they always like leave the hero to die on their own without witnessing it. But this one actually made sense because it's a tiger. Um, so yeah, it would be bloody. So I completely understood that point. Also, the henchmen. Another thing I thought forgot to mention, they're completely ridiculous. Of all the henchmen that I've seen, they just look so stupid. Like even more stupid than that stupid rat pack that the Riddler was with. They're in these like god awful leopard print outfits, and they have these stupid little cat ears. And the wardrobe department definitely didn't do that good of a job with them. But then again, also they were working with freaking tigers, like real tigers. So I wasn't really bothered. So Batman is he like climbs up the wall and then sets on his radar or his like bat communicator to put it to like this piercing sound, and he puts his bat earplugs in, and the tiger, it's like it just you just see it being filmed like him lying down like it's a trick or something. It's cute, but it's they got to work with what it is, a tiger after all, so you're not going to be able to train it perfectly. So Batman escapes, and he's like looking for Robin. It's like a catacomb down there, and he finally finds him. And during that point, Robin, he's got like kind of the worst deal of it. He's like strapped to this board, and there's some sand with the equal amount of weight as him, and it's like I don't really know the exact setup, but it's like tilting him into the pit. And there's two tigers in this one. And I'm like, God bless. You put Batman against one tiger, and Batman's far more experienced than Robin. And then Robin, who at this point in the series, they talked about it, he hasn't even gotten his driver's license yet. Um, so it's like that boy is like 15 freaking years old, and you're about to drop him in a pit with two tigers. I think that would have been the end of Robin, honestly. I mean, he's resourceful, but two tigers, come on. A 15-year-old? Well, I don't know. It is Robin. I guess it depends on the variation of him. So Batman comes in, saves the day. One of the henchmen escapes, and then the others, Batman and Robin, get, and also the cats. So they go back to the Batcave, and also during the episodes, you kind of find out that their Catwoman's like into this treasure. So Batman at the Batcave, he does some research, and he looks up the treasure as well because he had a feeling. And the two cats that she stole were pieces to the puzzle that make a map. So if you put them together, it's a map of where his treasure was, because he hid a treasure as all pirates do. So Catwoman, smartly enough, she took the cats and like put them together and like scraped like the newspaper, so she had like a portable map. And then Robin's like, hey, she was exposed to a lot of radiation because she was holding those items a lot. You think we could track her via that? And Batman's like, oh man, yeah, duh. So they go to get Catwoman. Her and the henchman are there. She like knocks out the henchman because she was being so greedy. Batman and Robin like chase her down, and there's like this huge, like they're in a cave system. So there's like Batman, Robin, and Catwoman over here. Big gap between my hands, and then another side, like another platform. She's trying to jump it, and she gets on it, but like she's like barely holding on. And I swear, Indiana Jones had to have copied this scene because she's holding on with the treasure, and Batman's like, here, toss me a line, you have to drop the treasure. And she's like, no, I won't. And then she falls because of her greed. But it is really weird. I mean, they don't even see a bottom, and she falls down it. And you do know for a fact because there's a Batman movie and it's with the Catwoman. Um, and Batman makes a remark. He's like, "Well, cats do have 9 lives, so we'll see." And they don't even address it. Like, as far as we know, she's dead. I know later she comes back, but I want to know how she came back, and if so, did she actually die? Like, is she actually kind of part cat, and she wasted one of her 9 lives? Like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's just, that's pretty much the end of it. Like I said, it was a pretty simple episode, but the tigers were like the big drawing point to it because they were real live tigers. So I could see back then like that would be really hard to like schedule into their schedule, have take like the proper precautions to safely film the tigers and getting the one handler in the bat costume. Like all I imagine the tigers were like they had to have taken the most amount of time. That's why so much time was focused on them. Because like Batman fighting the tiger and then the tiger escape, that took a good chunk of like the second half of the episode. So once again, not too mad at that. It's practical, so I have to give some leeway. But yeah, overall, I don't want to sound mean, just because of how impressive it was for the tiger thing. But at the same time, the episode wasn't that spectacular. There was a really funny joke though, where they're just hanging out in Catwoman's lair, and she like, "Hey, Phineas or whatever his name is, it doesn't matter. Why don't you brush my pussy, Willow?" And I'm just like, "You guys know what you did there. You know what you did there." Um, but like I said, there's nothing too amazing about the episode, so I'd probably have to rate it like a 4 out of 7, just right in the middle. Um, I get why it is, and I'm not mad at it, but I can't, in good faith, give it any higher or lower of a score. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a fun, simple episode with Catwoman, and yeah, that's it.